my big opening. All right. Hey, I hope everybody's having a good day. It's Thursday. Isn't that just the best? Okay. So, I hope everybody's been having a good day. Corbin? Yeah, he's doing all right. He's just flomping around over here. Flompy. Mr. Flompy. Flompy. Okay, so that's exciting. Hey, let's tune in and watch Chris fight with his cat. Okay. I hope everybody's been having a good day. I've been having a busy and productive day, which is always the best kind, and getting some stuff done. So, it's kind of a nice feeling when you get down to it and are able to accomplish some objective goals. And honestly, it really does help one get a sense of purpose when you're able to do that. And I can't complain. I can't complain at all. Well, I could complain, but I'm not going to complain. What's the point of all this complaining? So, just hanging out here with my buddy Derwent, and getting some stuff together. We got a special guest joining us tomorrow for the stream. We're very excited about that. It'll be my friend Tristan DeMoon. Right? Corbin likes Tristan because she's a cat gal. So, cue that fabulous bean footage. Hey, Christopher. Bean footage. There we go. All right. So I've been getting some stuff done, and we're having a good time here. So I'm just looking through the book of tricks. That's what it's called, and trying to find something for today. Well, yes. What do you need? Do you got something to say? We're just waiting. Just want to headbutt me. Okay. Corbin wants to be a part of everything. He's a good boy. He's a good guy. I like him a lot. Abuse. Okay. It's yesterday's page. That's what's up on the screen right now. Hiya, Chris. How you doing? Hiya, Dan. How you doing? I'm really pleased with yesterday's page. It turned out quite lovely. This isn't it. This is the day before that's page. This is yesterday's page. And again, like I said, I'm pretty pleased with how it came together. I just started working and without any plan at all. And despite that, it just sort of fell together. I've been trying to find this layered narrative more and more as I'm working. It's not that I've never tried before. It's just that I'm pretty solidly considering each page, about some sort of deeper resonance, some sort of deeper thing that's going on that might take a moment to figure out what it is. But objectively, in the course of pursuing that, I would like to think and hope that it makes the page a little more interesting for the reader, and it gives them a little deeper something to look into. So that's why this page kind of has this weird sort of sideways turn right at the onset. The suggestion yesterday was on the verge of extinction, which is a fun suggestion. That came from our friend Miriam. And so I started it as doing some hand-drawn text at the start there, on the verge of, from one of these letter sets that came out of one of the books that we picked up during the book sale. And then I added planet, digitally. Planet on the verge of what? Well, you find out. So, but the guy in the sky who's watching the events unfolding is what I'm talking about when I just, what's the deal with this guy? Is he on a rock? Who is he? And then I turn it back again at the end too, with suggesting another direction for whatever's going on. So, because at that point you're hypothetically thinking it's a great deal of things of who that guy could possibly be, and the fact that his wife is telling him to come in for tea. Well, what's that all about? So again, that's what I'm talking about. Just having different layers of fun. Now, the page that was up a second ago, reason I've got this here. Why is that, Chris? Boy, am I glad you asked, Magic Voice. That was me. It wasn't you. The reason that I got this up is because I put up on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and I'm going to put it up on Patreon. I ran out of time, but I'll put that up right away. This is the page I did the day before, and I put up on those different social media outlets the time lapse of me drawing this. I sort of sat down during the stream and plotted out the page. And then I sat down for a few minutes after the stream was over, a really quick couple of few minutes, and laid out where the page was going to go in orange. And then I came back, sat down in camera with a time-lapse setting on it, and just shot me drawing the thing, and then put a whole bunch of stuff about process on top of it, and posted that as a stream or a reel or a short or whatever they're called on whatever different social thing, So Dan has a question. Who's the little feller in Farmer Brown's barn? Well, that's for you to decide. That's up to you, Dan. Who is that little feller? Who's the little feller, Corbin? Who is it? He doesn't know. He has no idea. That's up to the reader. I mean, that's the fun part about story. And even if I was to spell it out, even if I'm to tell you all the answers, and say it's this person and he's doing this thing, and here's every piece of conclusion or every thought you might have, it's still going to leave you wondering something else or thinking of something else. And also, it takes away from you the affordability that's presented by not having all those things pat answered in the beginning, so that you can come up with those. So whatever your interpretation of a story is, it's the same as when you read a book. The way that I visualize a story when I'm reading a novel is not the same way as it is when Corbin does, or when Lori does, or actual people who can read books. Sorry, bud. So with these stories, I want to leave some openings like that. He doesn't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's a thing, but it's been spray painting his barn. So you can answer it with whatever you want it to be: a pumpkin-headed monster, a space alien. It's up to you. And so, making those sort of points available is just, I don't know. It just gives me a better sense of connection to the reader, so that they can pick up on deeper story resonance that's personal to them. So Chris says, I'm mostly recording shorts for YouTube. On Instagram, they're reels, 1 minute of video. Program 2 shorts a day until November 1st. Holy guacamole. Trying to get new subscribers. There you go. That's one of the members of George Clinton's psychedelic funk band. Psychedelic funk band. I got it. Love it. That's great, Dan. The Parliament Funkadelic is what you're laying on. I love it. All right, so that's pretty cool, Chris, about pre-programming all those things. I am not that prepared. I'm flying on it and learning day by day about how to do stuff. The page or the video that I posted today, I did that video in about a half an hour. So I'm learning. Like I shot the video when I was doing the page, but when I posted the video, that took a half an hour of time. So, I'm just trying to play with different ideas, to play with different notions, and to see what we get. And and with that, I'm learning. Anyways, so thanks everybody for taking part and everything. Thanks everybody for coming in and turning out and hanging out with Corbin and I. Stop licking my arm. It's weird. Today I'm going to work in pencil crayon. That's what I thought. Just because I wants to. Right, bud? Unless we decide halfway through to do something different. But right now we're starting there. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out a suggestion. We did one on Monday from the con. We did one on Tuesday from 3 Prompts. We did one yesterday from a viewer suggestion. It's Thursday, so we can either do a prompt or a viewer suggestion. And those of you that haven't given me a suggestion yet, that are engaged in this stream, don't be shy. Don't be scared. feel free to send one in. I'm down with that. Bad sound. Okay, well, let's do. I'll just take the top one off the pile for the con suggestions. This will be number 10 of those that we've done now since the end of the con, which was mid-September. So not half bad, you know. I haven't had any regular plot for when I'm doing what pages and from what suggestion. I'm just trying to just grab whatever the first thing I see is and go from that. So this is today's. Gemma suggests, I was a lifeguard. I know it's lifeguard. For one day. One day. Wow, that's longer than me. Chris says, I'm working on... Oh, Miriam's joining us. Hi, Miriam. Chris says, I'm working on Jack Skellington and Zero the Dog and Wool. Need felting sculpture. Needle felting sculpture as I listen. I'll go to work in an hour. Oh, that's fantastic. I really enjoy these, the needle felting sculptures. If you get a chance, check out Chris's stream for those. You know, of course, I almost laughed myself out of my chair that Chris did one of the conspiracy chicken. So, love it. That's fantastic. And they're all looking pretty good. Okay, so today's suggestion is, everybody saying hi to each other. Good stuff. Gemma is our suggestion for today. And the suggestion is, I was a lifeguard for one day. So I'll leave that up there for a second. Let's switch the old Kamarooski. And click the table on, oh, it's paper. So I ripped my nail right off the other day. So if you see my weird fingernail on my one hand, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Well, while Corbin is in repose, I think that we're going to just plug away here with our fun friends that have joined us. I'm curious of what people think of the time-lapse stuff. Maybe I'll do some more of that. Well, I can't show you all. So here's our suggestion. Oh, I've got it on the screen. As a lifeguard for one day. Just making sure it's the same thing. Okay. I can't show you the whole page because it's got people's connections on it. So, you know, because the idea is to send these to all these people that have suggested them. So, Riri's joining us. Hiya, Riri. I'm so happy to hear that. Feel free to comment on those. And hey, weirdo, you know, quit snuffling so much. What's the problem? All right. So today's suggestion: I was a lifeguard for one day. So we're just gonna play that. I'm just cleaning up here. I got stuff falling everywhere, and you know, I'm gonna do a zine still. I have yet to do one, but that's the next plan for a video. Is to do a little short like today of all of the zines from the Zine Swamp, and very excited to do so. So it'll probably be another 5-minute thing. I'm not tapping into those shorts. You know what I mean? Like, who wears shorts? Anyways, I can't believe I did that. Riri missed it. Okay, that's a living. Get it down, listening to ELO. Anyways. Okay, so we've got I was a lifeguard for one day, so let's get kicking it. Let's kick out. Corbin, you good? Yeah, he's good. He's all right. He's all right over there. Okay, so if anybody has any thoughts or ideas or suggestions or things that they're working on, they want to let anybody else know, you know, you're welcome to drop that into the chat. You want more like a Bermuda then, not short shorts. What's a Bermuda? I'm very unhip. What is a Bermuda? Is that like a bikini? This prop sounds like Baywatch. Hey, there's a Hasselhoff fan. Has anybody ever met a Hasselhoff fan? I met one once. It was German, coincidentally. All right, so I don't know. Let's have some fun with today. Let's make it a little intense. So, as a lifeguard for one day is our suggestion. What are we gonna do? I mean, we can automatically have somebody looking all da, 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 but so lifeguard for one day. What are we gonna do? Well, let's first off, we gotta. The whole point of doing a page is you just gotta start getting moving here. So I think this is a signal or the symbol for lifeguards. I think it is. If I'm wrong, it is now. So I should have used a ruler, Janet. Where's Janet to tell me to use a ruler when I need her? Use a ruler, you bozo. I got a playlist on today to keep my my feet a tapping, and boy, I gotta tell you, I dance like a goon when I'm doing stuff when I got that on. What are we? A short that goes to the knee. Oh, that's the kind of shorts that I wear. The Kilauea volcano where there's a lifeguard. Let's write down Kilauea. Is that how it's spelled? Okay, so we'll try to incorporate that for you, Dan. How's that? It's a fun notion. All right, what do we got? We got Candy's joining us. Hiya, Candy. Welcome aboard. Okay, so we're starting off with our lifeguard logo. I'm not being too overly precious today about nice, tight, light, refined mark making. We're just going for it. I'm trying to figure out a way, because my pencils tend to be really tight when I'm working in pencil crayon. And you can look back at pages that we've posted before, like fish and tails and stuff like that, to see what I mean. But whenever I try to figure out, maybe I can just do some kind of loose and open style, I always feel like it gets clunky. So today we're gonna play. We're gonna have a little bit of fun. Isn't that right, Corbin? All right. So let's start off with our lifeguard. Chris says, I have to admit, I watched Knight Rider and Baywatched almost all the seasons. But did you watch them back in the day? I remember watching Knight Rider when it came on. Oh, it's tragic. And then my brother-in-law really enjoys Knight Rider. So when he comes over to stay with us for a weekend, and if we're not going to watch a hockey game, we'll watch a show with John, and John will bring over some of the box sets that he has. And if you don't know who I'm referring to by my brother-in-law, there's videos of him joining me on the streams. Super cool. But he likes Knight Rider, but he calls him, that's a good movie when we watch an episode of television, because it just feels like such a rounded story. So I've watched a lot of Knight Rider, and yeah, it's a little ridiculous. Dan saying, triple screw up. Better check it a fourth time. Well, I'll look it up. I'm tired. Sorry if I yawn. Oh, sweet John. That's right. He's the best. We have a great time. And there's one episode where our intention, so I got paint in my hand from painting this morning. The intention was that after the stream that we were doing together, where I think we were drawing a hockey player, we're going to go get some Chinese food. So we kept talking about Chinese food and Chinese food over and over again. So now it's a tradition where we get Chinese food together whenever John comes and joins me. And, the last time, I think we ordered like shawarmas or something. We still called it Chinese food, It's easier to just, when you're trying something new, to just call it something you're already exposed to, and that way you don't realize you're trying a new thing. How's that logic for you? Okay, so I'm putting down our principal guy here. Here's our lifeguard dude, and oh, look at it! Hey, come on, Derwin, do your job. Ah, that's cute. Okay. So here's our little lifeguard. And I really like the idea of him being the lifeguard at a volcano. That to me is a lot of fun. There's Michael Phelps. Isn't that what that guy's name is? Miriam's buffering like crazy. I'm sorry, Miriam. Electric eraser. I'd like one. I just picked this up. I literally just picked it up. I was at last month's Comic Jam, or this month's Comic Jam, I'm sorry, which was just X weeks ago. And a young man came out who had one of these, and I'm like, watching him in action. And I'm like, why have I not picked one of these up yet by now? So I did, and it was $10, $12, something like that, Canadian, which is like a nickel American if you're in the States. So I find it's pretty helpful. It erases pencil crayon, which is always kind of a troublesome thing to do with regular means, right? So if I'm drawing directly in pencil crayon, like we're doing now, it lets me make some corrections for the mistakes that I'm inevitably going to make. So today's video that I posted was a little bit different than the one that Lori put together with old Sleepy Magoo over there. And we've got some more stuff planned. We've got a bunch of footage of this lunatic. Of course, do that in camera, Corbin. Everybody wants to see it. So, if anybody's got any ideas or silly things, hey, Chris, do a video of this. Let me know. Candy loves her electric eraser. Nice. See, there's two glowing reviews of the electric erasers, Chris. 3rd time's a charm. Oh, that's good. I'm glad it's not buffering on you anymore. 200 to 300 pesos, Mexican pesos. Most art materials are expensive to get. Well, I think that certain things they're less about just like if it's something that's going to be a consistent and regular tool. I think there's some meaning to that. If it's just, I'm going to arbitrarily buy this nonsense that I may well not ever use, then I think that it's important to reevaluate that. But that's the tricky part of any art materials anywhere, to buy stuff. And I'm not to diminish the fact that it might be very expensive where you are. It's just sort of adjudicating how much benefit am I going to get out of this? How much utilization am I going to have for what I do? And as soon as you can, value judgment then it may well be something that's of great benefit to you. See, I wouldn't have ever thought that old Derwent here would do such handy things. Anybody got an idea for the crazy hair we're going to give our lifeguard? Feel free to shout it out in the chat. And then we got to decide what his outfit's going to be. So if there's one thing that I drew X amount of times when I was young, it's superhero pose. So another idea that we could consider is in the making of the story. See, it's just important to get started, right? Which is why I drew what may or may not be a lifeguard symbol. And so now I'm working. But maybe one of the things that we could consider is all the different things he had to do as a lifeguard. Maybe he got burned out as a lifeguard. Maybe that's what the issue at hand was for why he was only one for a single day. You know. Yeah. See, I'm going to do that every time I use the electric eraser. Troll hair. Okay. Troll hair it is. Carrot Top or Ronald McDonald? Who's Carrot Top? Oh, the comedian. That's fun too. Why don't we do a variation of those two? Let's try to figure something out. I'm trying to think of what to do with his hands. Or I think I'm just going to do... I'm going to change this one up because it looks a little touchy-feely. Okay, I'll stop doing that. Okay, I gotta stop. My electric eraser needs the batteries. Oh boy, yeah, I've got a little standby batteries kicking over right here. You could have a whistle tied around his hands. Oh, yeah, that's a thing. That's part of their shtick. Yeah, that's part of their shtick-a-rooney. What's up? Come on. You sit down? No. All right. There we go. Now you want to sit down? Come on. Right here. Sit down. You're a weirdo. This is called multitasking. Beating a cat up, drawing a picture at the same time. Hey, you out of the deep end. That's good fun, Dan. I'm going to be posting some announcements, some dates on our website. We've already got the Eventbrite listing up for anybody that's in the region that's interested in coming to the talk I'll be doing on November 12th as part of the Words Festival here in London, Ontario, Canada. And it's going to be fun. I don't think there's a cost for entry at all. I think it's just, hey, come on out and, let's have some potatoes, and we'll make something together. So let's start with Carrot Top here on the bottom. Yes, buddy. Come on. You just want to lick my arm? You're a weirdo. Does anybody else have a weirdo cat like this one? And then we'll give him some. It's sticking up. Very stylish. It's a lot of product to make a haircut like this. Corbin, would you have this haircut if you could? Thanks, buddy. Okay, so I'm going to give him his swimming trunks here. Oh, what am I missing? I was a lifeguard, says Candy. Nice. Stop running. That's what we said all day. You coming to sit down or what? Just come sit down. You see this? You see what he does the whole time? The whole time. Oh, lunatic. You're crazy. So you're going to give him his trunks now? Here he goes. Now I get to play around with this. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. It's like a comedy of errors watching me try to work in the studio with this ridiculous cat. Miriam's dogs don't start barking because of you. I'm going to move the picture up now because you're going to get in the road. We'll start putting some value in here. What do you think, Corbin? So, as I mentioned this before, while I'm drawing, while I'm in the sort of tutorial type thing we did on Monday, I talked about building up and drawing pretty much anything with shapes. And so when I'm working, I'm considering all the shapes that make up these forms, you know, the forms in our anatomy, the forms in the clothing. You know, I'm thinking about how the sort of billowing of the fabric is going to happen around the belt as it bunches up there. That's the word I'm looking for, bunching. And try to get some of those drawn in here. And a little pinching at the same time is going through my head because we know that's how shorts are. And then it becomes a case of gravity, and how gravity is at work with pulling the rest of the fabric down. But there's going to be a little bit of shaping as it goes down, right? So that's the sort of stuff I try to keep in my head while I'm drawing. Leaning towards flip-flops here. I think it's very important for a lifeguard to have flip-flops on. Right, Corbin? And it just becomes a case of thinking about how, as the leg turns and the foot shifts around, and you know, all that, you just consider all those little things that sometimes we forget about, and how form works. And in this instance, we're talking about the form that makes up, well, a lifeguard. Right, Corbin? You know, I think I've created a monster with this guy. Because now I think he just believes that this is the Corbin show. So, Rob Ross was a lifeguard. Nice. Okay, let's think of famous lifeguards, folks. All right, so what do we want to do? We want to draw... No, let's not draw a pool setting, right? Because the idea is that he's a lifeguard for a day. So I think, if anything, let's... what is this? Just more paper. Okay. All right, so let's do a picture of a guy. Let's turn this into a flag. All right, Corbin. Corbin loves flags. Do you have any insights on this, Corbin? What should I do next? Just came to mind because I'm random. We have a doormat at the front of our house that Lori's mom picked up for her, and it's two cats. It's two orange cats, but they're the same colors as Corbin and Baby. And so I still giggle every time I walk in the door and I see this thing. And then when you open the door, there's Corbin and Baby. Hey, what's going on? You gonna feed me or what? Crocs. He's wearing Crocs. I'm wearing Crocs right now. How tragic is that? The Corbin and Runciman show is on. There you go. Edge of the volcano, top perhaps. Well, what I thought I'd do is just have him standing beside a flag, and let's get the post in here. Remember the last time you climbed to the top of a volcano, pal? All right, so here he is with his flag. Maybe just leave that open. Not worry about putting him in an environment at all, right? That sounds great. That's a good idea. So these are these double-sided pencil crayons that I bought at the dollar store for my granddaughter to tell me that those are cheap pencils, Grandpa. Famous lifeguard Candy Tiggs. There we go. So we're just going to put in some tone here. I think that's going to make it a little more easy to see up there. Out there in movie world. I'm just adding little hits, defining little shapes of light, dark on the pie, pulling those out as we put our marks down. Am I annoying you? You want to go? All right. Slows me down. Slow me down, bud. These are also dollar store pencils. That, they do the job. Miriam says, "Is a lifeguard in the fabric swimming pool? Is he in the swimming pool for kids at home? We'll add that to the list. Home pool, that's fun. Think about other weird places that we can put this lifeguard on duty. Candy, you're even known as a famous lifeguard in Israel. I was the one lifeguard completely covered in sunblock. You had taken to heart the lesson of your parents of before you get in the water, put on some sunblock. Mom, hurry up! I gotta go. There's a few things funnier than, and this is terrible for moms, but there's a few things funnier to me at the beach that when you're trying to, you got these moms trying to grease up their kid in sunblock as the kids literally try and keep turning to move away to go wherever the other kids are that got their sunblock on faster. I love that. I absolutely love that. I think that's so funny. It's not funny to do. It's a pain in the butt, but no, it's not. But I always look for those sorts of things, when out and about. Our one grandson I'll tell him something. He goes, "What? Why?" It's just so funny to me, the absolute amazement he has. But it's time to come in. Putting a little shadow under his hairline. This is an light umber brown that I'm using it this way. Candy says, I look like a tomato. I'm the same. I've sunburnt in just a couple of minutes, and that's it. I'm cooked. 20 minutes in, we should go get chicken. It's Greased Kid reminds me of the summer fair in Montana. Was that a weird sort of Montana thing that you guys would do? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, come on down to the grandstand. The Greased Kid competition is about to begin. So bring your unwilling son or loved one. And try to know who the participant is before we get started, please. Thank you very much. I'll see you down the grandstand. As soon as you get them all greased up, you shoot them down the slide. That kid done skid right across the whole field. See, this is the way my ridiculous brain works. Lifeguarding beside a noodle pool. Noodle pool. I like the idea of him standing, him standing beside, the little noodle in the backyard, the wiggly worm thing. It's got water spraying in all the directions, and he stands there. Slow down now. Everybody behave. One at a time. Kids jumping a sprinkler. One at a time, please. Which is good advice, by the way, because kids will run into each other with that whole jump in a sprinkler thing. Because they are ridiculous. So I'm just looking for those planes that I talked about on Monday. Those you may know those surfaces, but all those planes that make up a surface on an apple. You've got not just a contour plane that goes around the apple, but then it divots inside to where the stem is, or it divots up underneath a little bit, and then pokes back out again for where the whatever the bottom of the apple is called, apple bottom. So I try to think about the planes, on our lifeguard here, and how it's a little dark. Dan, were you ever the greased up kid at the summer fair in Montana? Not in the ridiculous way that I described, but did you attend summer fairs in Montana and go through that whole experience with your parents? Mom, we're going home. Yeah, we get low on sheep. We got to improvise in Montana. Are you talking about the hair? I thought you were talking about what we were talking about. Putting some interesting little spots with the green and pulling up some different values in the skin. Just to give it a little more life, right? I'll hold this up in 2 seconds because I don't think that the camera's going to pick up the color as well as I'd like it to. But fortunately, there's very little I can do with that at the moment. So I've never really drawn superhero books, but not that I don't like them or I've never drawn them, but it tends to be a standard, way of standing there with the arms at the side and, hey, kids, only you can prevent forest fires. I don't know. Look for the ginger kids with curly hair in Montana that shave their heads. The problem is that you get all this, red wool. Hey, maybe that's where red wool comes from. Ginger kids with permanents and afros. I look forward to exploring the idea of trying different panels here of all the places that he's been a lifeguard. It was a busy day, It says I was a lifeguard for 1 day. It doesn't, you can play with that, right? It doesn't just necessarily mean 1 day only. I was a lifeguard for 1 day at, we can do these different places, right? I was the husky boy. W30. Husky boy. I was the sort of a skinny, wiry little one. And then when I went through puberty, I was still pretty much the same at the time. I just shot up, that's all. It's terrible. It's banging my head on ceilings. one. Well, Toesy Wosies. Gotta be sure to draw those toes correctly. Maybe I'll be some person who, first thing I look for in the drawing is let's check out the toes on this person. I don't know. Looks like he's got 9 there. Yeah. Nope. Thumbs down. I can't control how people criticize things. You can play pool. You can go play pool afterwards. Bakers are not known to be compassionate. More than just bakers play pool. I spent a little bit of time playing the old pool game. I like these pencils because they're fun. They're easy to hold, but they're fun in that they're triangular. Let's see if I can get that from the top down. Oh, look, see, triangular pencils. And what can you draw with a triangle? Pencil. So I'm starting light and I'm building up color and value as we go. Putting some marks down and a little bit more as we go, filling in some stuff. Like the cool kids at the back of the bus do. Miriam says, you can give us some tips on inking, like the lines to show volume. Doesn't need to be today. Sure, I will. Well, here, I'll show you something. Yeah, I'll do a little sidetrack right now if people don't mind. But this is where we're going with our pencil crayon guy. It's a little, hold on a second, let me sort of fix the angle, because he looks a little squat in the frame because it's on an angle. There, it's a little more proportioned. Anyhow, well, it's still not doing the job, but yeah, that's better. There, see, it's better proportion than it looks initially in the camera. Okay, here is some drawings I did for a Frankenstein page I'm about to put on Patreon. So this is a pen that I'm using called a Fudenosuke pen. That's the name of it. I'll hold it up. Fudenosuke. That's right, Fudenosuke, Corbin. Now, this one is a blue, which is a hard tip. There's a black, just like this, that has a soft tip. Okay, now these are like brush tip pens, but for whatever reason or setting it goes on in this old noggin, I really like these over top of a lot of other products. Now, it's a Tombow. Tombow also does the watercolor brushes as well. So, but these are far better specifically for inking. And one of the reasons why, I'm going to move you over for a second, is that depending on pressure, you can get a nice thin line, you can get a nice thick line. You can get a thin line, right? You can get really soft gestural marks. You can get nice and thick ones. Okay? This one, guy might be another blue. Okay, so this is, making sure it's the same one. So this is a new one. So just because see the soft lines and the thick lines, it's just a really great brush for that kind of control that it gives you but it also gives you these lovely lines that you can make. So with that, when you're inking, if you're looking for somebody to study for lines, I always suggest for people to look at Modigliani, the painter, because he has this absolutely fantastic weighted line that he incorporates in his work, right? And so because of that, you get to see how the suggestion of a line implies volume. So if I sit down with this guy, and as I'm moving through the foot, I'm putting a little more weight down here into the bottom. And then as I come around, I'm going to push and pull that line. So I'm going to get something underneath this. This paper stinks. This is just a piece of, this is a scribbled drawing, so it's on just typewriter paper. All right, so now as I'm putting this line in here, you can see I've got more weight at this point of the line than I do at this point. And it's the same as when I'm talking about inking around the subject. You don't have to complete the entire line around the subject. Like if you're going to put a weighted line around somebody, you can just hit those points, those key points around the form, and the human eye will fill it in. It's implied, right? So as I follow through here, I got this soft line, a little thicker for the calf, and I'm pulling it back in. Does that make sense? Dan says, be back later, folks. I have some chores. Hey, thanks for coming and hanging out, Dan. Okay, so now I've got these forms here, right? And so I can play with the weight of the lines in order to make it a little more interesting, to move the form around, and to imply the surface itself. Like I can change how it's sort of like what does that call, crinoline or something like that, like a really, really thin fabric that makes up a dress like this. So I don't want to use really heavy lines. So I'll hold that up. So by varying the weight of your line, can add more movement. Just give me a second. Here we are. I'm going to try to clean this here. So I think my lens is messy. Excuse me. I think that's better. Okay. I think I had a smudge or something on there. Okay, so yeah, that's a lot better. All right, so now when I come in and I put these lines together, so one of the things about having a thicker line here and a thinner line there, and thicker line here and a thinner line there, it suggests movement, right? Does that make sense? Okay. So when I do this young lady's hand, now there's an absolutely brilliant inker I suggest people study. Her name is Rachel Dodson. She and her husband, Terry, they do a bunch of books together. And he's a penciler and a colorist. She's the inker. And so as he pencils all these lines, and his pencils are fantastic, but what she adds is brilliant. Like the textures that she adds and the weight and volume she puts in the lines. There's a lot of inkers out there. There are written a lot of really good ones, but she is always, for me, the first one that comes to mind. Another really good one is Jimmy Palmiotti. He's an inker for his wife or life partner. I'm not sure what they're called, but oh, for heaven's sakes, I had her name and I just forgot it like a complete jerk. If anybody knows who Jimmy Palmiotti's, what her name is, I'm so sorry. Amanda Connor. It took me a second. Amanda Connor is the penciler, and Jimmy Palmiotti is the inker. And so they work together on and he's also a writer. So he writes, she draws, and then he inks them. And, and then you've got the Dodmans, or the Dodsons, I'm sorry, where, he's illustrating and she's inking it, and he's coloring. Like, I love those partnerships, those teams. So, but if you get an opportunity, I would suggest those two as being really good inkers in the field right now. And the fact that they get to work with their partners like that's super cool to me. All right, so I wanted to bend that line and in order to imply that weight and that movement. So that's basically what I'm trying to get across to you, is to allow variation in the lines and allow that to afford you to give your drawings a bit more volume, a bit more variation. Now, when I'm inking, I'll change lines all the time because, I tend to be bored of just inking over a drawing. That's why I generally tend to draw in a finished mark making tool. I don't often force myself to draw in pencil and then ink over it. So I play a little bit. This is a couple dancing at a jamboree. I've never really drawn in ink before. Inktober has really taught me a ton about different pens and techniques. You can have a great deal of fun exploring these things with, and the rules of Inktober is entirely up to you. If you want to pencil first and then ink, there's nobody that has some authority to say that's not the way to do it. So allow you to work, don't overly pressure yourself is basically what I'm saying. You have to do it this way. You don't. So anyhow, here's how I'm putting the lines down for her, and just let the brush just pull up as you're putting in this hair, and it'll taper the end for you. I'll hold this up in just a sec. There we go. So here is the young lady's hair as she's dancing. Now I'm going to come in and fill in the larger part of this area in a black. But some of these shapes, like here, for the Brett, that's what it's called, little thing, noggin you put in your hair. And this, just a little piece of form by putting this white dash through the hair. And then, again, playing with bending the line in order to get the face. And so I'll hold that up. I hope that helps. Some, little bits of business about how to just play with the weight of a line. So find a pen that works for you. I highly recommend these. They come in 2-packs, so you can buy them in singles at different art supply stores. But this is, in my opinion, the best pen I've ever come across for doing inking with. Now, I'm using a cheap copy paper, which is not very receptive to ink, but when you, so I tend to try to use cardstock, right, which has a different consistency. But when you pull out the penciled line, it gives you a better sense of the lines that you've played with and put down. And then as I fill in just the thicker edge on the hair, just so that it sort of gives me a note for myself. Here's the thing that a lot of inkers do is they'll do this. So as they're inking a space and doing the external lines on a space, they'll leave marks like that, these little X's, and that just tells you fill in this volume. Fill in this volume with a solid black. So that they can either come back in and fill those in later with a brush or something, or it just sort of helps them through the process as they're doing the inking on the job. So I'm going to give her a little more form at the top. So there it is. So then when I come in and I fill in the black, so hopefully now you get a sense of form and movement in the hair because of the hair flopping in the air, but it also has this sort of wild moving down in the smaller volumes of the hair, tapering out at the ends. There we go. So there's the top of that young lady. I hope that, there's a million things I can show you for inking. I can spend entire streams of walking through inking with people. But yeah, there's this sort of, find a good pen. Find a good pen and play. Kenny says, I've got no pressure on myself, just doodling and testing out pens. Excellent. Excellent. Love it. Perfect. That's the idea. Try things out. Play. I'm a big advocate of people just experimenting. It's, as I put it, everything is experimental. It's so dumb. I do things to amuse myself, folks. Let's be honest. Uh-oh, Miriam's lurking. So I've got different values in my hand, and I'm just finding shapes with the color and pushing those shapes around the form, changing the direction of the marks that I'm placing in. And depending on the pressure, it gives you the weight in the line or the weight of the value itself. So I'm coming in here with the lighter pressure, whereas you can see in other spots where I've put a heavier pressure. And is that better? Yeah, that's better. So I'm just putting in the fingers as their underside. And listening to the knack right now. I tried to figure out a way to show you guys the video of that I put up today. I don't think it ended up working. Let's see if I can try it one more time. There's no music, but so let me shrink this sucker down. Here it goes. So this is the time lapse. I'll put this over here top of my goofy face. And you can get a look at what I was referring to. There it is. There we go. Sorry for the shift that I'm moving. And I'll start that guy over. There you go. Okay. Looks like I'm two of me. There's two of me right now. So when it comes to drawing people and to figuring out where shadows go on form, and when we think about the drawing the body, as random as it sounds, there's absolutely nothing wrong with studying your own form. Now, what I'm referring to is, look at your arm and look at the planes in your arm and see how, you've got a plane here, you've got a plane here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's this a round part to this edge here, another flat plane going on there. So think about how, because of those shapes in your body, and think about how, how do I denote those? By using line, by using color, by using shapes, by using different values. How can I illustrate this? And the more and more you think about that and become aware, then the more informed you are for drawing people. Now, I'm not this muscular guy. I do not have this physique, but having an understanding of form and the body and anatomy gives us a sense of where these shapes move and how to define this body. Now, this whole time I've been thinking his head is absolutely massive, and unfortunately the table angle and the camera angle I got to fix better, but I keep thinking his head's absolutely massive. It's not. It's the scale. It's this hair. It's this troll / carrot top hair that we've given him. Boy, oh boy. Got a gigantic noggin, this guy. He doesn't cut through the water. He headbutts it. But he looks like he means business. Okay, so this is blue that I've pulled out here. And I'm just, again, what I mentioned before, little accents. I don't have to fill in the entire area. And if you use a blue like this in relation with an umber, it gives you a kind of nice charcoal emphasis color as opposed to using a black. And it lets you build up a softer value. But I'm just finding points. All right, let's get some volume in this hair. And again, study your own hair. Study other people's hair. Do it. This guy's got some hair. Think about where the shadow is underneath the curl. You know what he's reminding me of right now? Is there was a show years ago called Alice, and there was this character Flo, and she had this crazy perm, and she'd always say, "Mel, kiss my grits," to the cook in the kitchen at this diner. And this is Flo hair that I'm giving this guy. He looks like Flo from Alice. Here's a visual that'll scar some people. Still going? I think it's almost done. It's a 5-minute video. You don't get the music though. But I'm having fun with graphics, and I figured out how to do different things and to lay stuff out and then incorporate, like draw stuff out and then incorporate it in. And I'm having fun. Jim Luan thinks it'll be a very brief amount of time before I start doing animatics and animations, and I was like, oh yeah, probably. But I think it's about done. Have a great day. Look at that. Boink, boink, boink. It should be it. There you go. Wahoo! No sound, but you get the gist of it. Yes, sir? No, I'm still working. Oh, it's 1:15. Is that what you're telling me? Or is it that you don't like this guy's hair? Say, I don't like his hair. So now that I've put this lighter value underneath, I'm going to put emphasis points with the darker value. Go ahead. You sitting down again? What are you doing? It's been 33 seconds. I require attention. There we are. Oh my God, that's a blast for the past. Oh, maybe that's what. Are you trying to do a flow impression? Corbin saying, Dad, kiss my grits. She also used to chew her gum like this. Yeah. Oh, I'm yawning. It's Miriam. She was yawning where she was, and it's passed on. Miriam started at the beginning of the stream said, if I'm yawning, I'm tired. I'm sorry for yawning, she said. Now I'm yawning. So what are you doing, Miriam? All right. So there's our dapper guy's hair. And then it's just, again, pulling out some more shapes where some of those shadows are going to hit them, and moving those lines in directions where it'll move along the plane. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of fun that we can have with our drawings and our illustrations of our stories. But it's got lots of ideas. If anybody has any last-minute ideas, we got a couple more minutes left. I got a home pool. I got a noodle pool. I got the edge of a mountain. Any place else he needs to be the lifeguard for? Corbin, where do you usually find lifeguards? Oh, you brought your toy up. I see what you're doing. Very interesting, Corbin. Then what happened? Hey. What are you throwing it over there for? Well, hopefully a lot of these colors will pick up a little bit better in the scan than it is in the camera. We're going to get better cameras at some point. Just, budgeting. She threw it off. She threw it off the desk. So I'll just throw the shorts in. Anybody else? Water park. Okay, I'll write these down. Water park. Big slides. Yeah, that's great. Those are great. I wrote those down. Chris says, "Gotta go. See you around. Hey, have a great day. Enjoy your class this afternoon, Chris. Thanks for coming to hang out. I look forward to seeing the shorts that Chris is doing. I'm gonna have to go check those out. If there's anybody that you're meeting here in the stream, and I highly recommend people go and check out what each other are doing. Who knows what you're going to come across, and some creator who's going to have answers for questions that you have in your own creative process and journey, Here we are getting this. I think we're called, we're going to call them Bermuda shorts. Well, now I know what to do when I'm, going to swim in a triangle. Too soon for Bermuda jokes. There we go. So our guys coming together. Candy says, I found you from Dee Dee. Oh, well, that's super cool. Yeah, Dee Dee's great. She's a great friend of the stream. Good, really, really great person. She sent Lori Downton Abbey book recently that Lori's really loving right now. She's just a nice person in general. All right, buddy, you got anything you want to say before we wrap up today? You have anything you want to tell anybody? No, he's all right. He's all right for the day. Okay, so tomorrow is Friday. We're going to have a special guest tomorrow. My friend Tristan's going to be joining us. Tristan and I worked on, we have done over 70 books together for publishing here in the London, Ontario area. And so we're going to talk about that process. We're going to talk about her new book that she's working on right now, which is really exciting to me. Because all this graphic design stuff she's been doing for years, and here she's now moving into storytelling. It's super cool, and she's really good at it. So very exciting. And so that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be at 2:00 EST tomorrow. So if you're able to, feel free to come in and join. And if you got any questions about process, let us let us know during the stream. She's here and ready and willing to answer some questions and thoughts. And we'll try to show some of the stuff that she's working on. We'll definitely show some of the stuff that she's done with RP Comics, the Runsman Press, the publishing venture we've had together. So that I'm really looking forward to that. So other than that, I'm going to get this posted for tomorrow's one-page story. And those of you that are following me on Patreon, I got a whole bunch of pages that we'll be posting in the next 24 hours of Patreon exclusive one-page stories. So a lot of busy things going on. Lots and lots of busy things. Setting up Lori's new office. Woo! So much excitement. And then we're going to be doing a video of the stream. Of the zines from the Zine Swap. And then Lori will be doing a video talking about her book haul from the book show that we went to recently. So lots of fun things coming up for people. But in the meantime, I got to get going, get some things done. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And I hope you're having a great day and having lots of fun. And we'll talk to you then. Okay? Bye for now.